Hello everybody, Dazas here. Welcome to a new episode of DazMail. One of the questions I get constantly asked, so I decided to make a video about it so I don't need to answer it so many times, is concern about UV reactive products. Sometimes it's a question, other times it's actually a complaint, another time it's a request for recommendation. So today I would like to make a small video so we talk about different UV reactive components of your build. It could be liquid, or it can be cables, or it can be tubing, and of course we need to talk a little bit about lights itself that provide UV reactive process to work. One of the things that I would like to start with few basic things. One of the common misconception for people who would like to use UV reactive material very first time and they never did it is they go on the forum and they look cool pictures with stuff glowing like hell and they thought, wow, I have to have it. Then they buy whatever they want to buy, tube and liquid, cables and everything, install entire thing, and actually it doesn't look as bright. Well, that's the thing. When you see on the pictures, quite often colors get amplified a little bit more than in real life. So even if you do picture yourself or your system, you will see that it will look much brighter. So the thing is, the UV reactive products that you install in your system, it doesn't really a bulb that emit light. It's a material that reflect UV radiation. So it's already not the source of the light, it's a reflection of the light, so it doesn't really that bright, although the degree of brightness might vary from one thing to other. So one thing that you need to understand that you probably wouldn't get as bright result as you see on the pictures. It also vary quite a bit from the color you're selecting, because some material glows brighter and other materials glows not as bright. And one of the biggest problem is actually with the red color. Red is probably one of the most popular colors that people want to have. It's just behind the black, because nobody can beat black color. It's everybody want it, but right after pretty much white and red is the top colors that people want, and they sit straight under the black. So problem with red that first of all there are no real red UV reactive pigment or material exists at all. Usually when you see the red UV product, doesn't matter what it is, living or liquid, is usually careful combination of two UV type of pigments. One of them is purple and other is pink. That's why sometimes you have a problem that if you put a little bit more pink, which is also combination of yellow and some orange, dark orange. So if you have too much pink, your UV reactive material glows kind of orangey. And if you overdo on purple, it will glow kind of purple. That's why the proper blend is really hard. And you make smallest mistake and you have those problems like here. Secondly, that the glow properties of red color absolutely worst. There are no other color that glow as bad as red. So you will never get really bright red glow unless it's shifting towards orange or purple. Then you have a little bit better result. But if you have a pure proper combination of red color, it will never glow well. So you really need to adjust your expectation of brightness if you would like to go UV red color scheme. And actually a recent trend that a lot of people kind of don't even pursue UV red color anymore and they rather use white LEDs or other white light of sources to highlight their build instead of try to create red glow out of it, because that will look basically much better than trying to use UV reactive products. Well, as long as we're speaking about the colors, let me cover the entire range and tell you what glows better and what glows worse. I actually set up those bottles in a line, so I can show you which color is the best and which color is the worst. So if you can guess, the red one at the end is absolutely worst case scenario. Well, basically absolutely best glowing material, the brightest color you can get that really popping out would be kind of acid yellow, which is a blend between yellow and green basically. This color is absolutely top notch and it glows as much as it gets. You can't beat it at all. So other variation of yellow is still pretty much on the top, and it's closely followed by green color. So green color always green perfectly well. You see tons of pictures of builds on the internet, and green is always really bright, and it's actually pretty close to reality, unlike pictures of red when you have to amplify it with Photoshop and everything to make it look better. So green actually pretty bright. And the last color that pretty much glows really strong and close the group of bright colors is blue. So those three is absolutely best choice if you really expect color popping out of your computer, and they will glow bright, and it will be very close to the pictures you might see on forums. Now we're moving to the next group, which is not as bright. So some colors or darker colors of blue might glow a little bit not as bright. Orange color also not as bright as, let's say, some blues. So here we have orange right in the middle, and the purple color also glows kind of okay, but getting on the lower side. So this is your mid-range. And as I already told you before, red is absolutely worst and weakest glowing color, period. So when you set up or when you select your colors, set your expectations right. Otherwise you might be disappointed, and then you start thinking, what I did wrong? Is it bad cables or tube, or it's bad lights? And you try to fix it, but it's not fixable because it's a property of the color. Second question that also quite often asked is what's the best source of UV glow? And in most cases we talk about two. It's either CCFL, which is old type of bulb, more older technology, requires power supply, which is pain in the ass and things like this, or more modern UV lights, which is much smaller, more compact, and probably is majority of people that would use right now in their computers. Well, first of all, I would like to point to you that visual spec UV light actually is not really that visible for your light. So you see portion of it, portion you don't. So the brightness of UV emitting light doesn't show you how bright the thing will glow. And actually the difference between UV light and, let's say, single colored light like red, blue, whatever, they even measured in different units. So any normal light measured in lumens, you might heard that term before, but the UV light actually measured in watts per square something, like square millimeter or square inch. So it's basically how intense radiation is a heating surface, and the more energy coming from the light and hitting UV reactive material, the more glow you get. And it doesn't really corresponds directly to how you see it. In certain situations, you might kind of fake and amplify a little bit the effect, but realistically, all you need actually just a powerful light that makes things glow. And if one light look visually brighter for you, it doesn't really necessarily will mean that it will make material glow higher. So now, for the surface, or as a source of truth, realistically, quite often CCFL actually produce higher radiation levels than LEDs. LEDs, a lot of things depends how many chips installed on unit. So, and for that reason, let's say if you use 2 LEDs, you probably will get much better result because you have as much as twice LED modules that emit your radiation. So in certain situations, CCFL might work better. In other situations, LED might work better. It all depends on your chip density and the properties of chips versus property of the bulb. CCFL is still used in many applications, such as hospitals, to kill germs and things like this. So this is old technology, but it's pretty much still alive and kicking. It's just not as convenient as, let's say, LEDs. So that's probably choice for most because of the size, not a requirement of having power supply, and less just power draw and things like this. So basically, I would say that at this point, just because of the state of technology and the requirement of have additional power supplies that burn from time to time, I would say that probably LED would be a better choice for now. But you need to remember that you need a light that has a relatively high density of the chips, so you can produce enough power to make things glow, or you need to use multiple lights. Also, limitation of LED is the chip itself. It's like a flashlight that has a certain angle of UV radiation coming out, while CCFL is a round light and radiation coming all directions and make everything glow pretty much. This one will glow the best, the object straight in front of the LED, and the further you go right or left, the less radiation coming on the sides and will be glow less. So when you position your UV light, you need actually point it to the best spot you'd like to glow the most, or you use multiple lights and point them strategically, the same like I have lights in this studio trying to shine on myself in different directions so you can see picture perfect. Exactly the same story inside of your PC. You just position strategically all those lights, make everything radiated properly, and everything will glow up as much as it could depending on the color choice you choose. Alright guys, well, that's basically in a nutshell the story about UV reactive material. I hope it helps. If anybody else will start asking me those questions, I will point straight to this video, and that will be my answer moving forward. Thank you for watching. I see you soon with more stuff.